Bacon! It isn't just for breakfast anymore. Have you noticed the crispy, salty treat is showing up everywhere? But eating bacon could also be a health buster, so we have a new taste test to help you find which brands are worth the splurge.
12 bacon brands failed. Not weren't great, actually failed. We're talking strips that shrunk by 70%, chemical aftertastes, and one brand that left something in the pan we still can't identify. But here's what's wild. The three winners have one thing in common nobody talks about. Oscar Mayer sits on every supermarket shelf in America. It's the bacon your mom probably bought, the one in every hotel breakfast buffet. And honestly, it's a ripoff. Here's what they don't want you to know. That package you're paying $8 for? Nearly half of it is water. Literally, injected water. Sodium phosphates pump up the weight so you think you're getting more meat. You're not. You're buying expensive salt water with some pork attached. Cook a pound of Oscar Mayer and watch it shrink like a cheap cotton shirt in a hot dryer. What started as a full pan becomes a sad little pile of thin, inconsistent strips. Some burnt to a crisp, others still flopping around like they're not sure what happened. And that smoky flavor? Not from actual smoke. Liquid smoke flavoring. Basically, bacon cologne sprayed on industrial pork. But Oscar Mayer isn't even the worst offender. That title belongs to a brand with a secret most people have never heard about. Hormel Black Label. The bacon with the fancy black packaging that screams premium. It's not. Those pigs? Raised in concrete buildings where they never see sunlight. Pumped with antibiotics because stressed animals get sick. But hey, at least the marketing budget is healthy. Here's my favorite trick they pull. That hardwood smoked claim on the front? Technically legal. The bacon does pass through smoke. For maybe 30 minutes. Traditional smokehouses take days. Hormel takes a coffee break. And their thick-cut version still shrinks down to regular thickness once you cook out all that injected water. It's like buying a large pizza that arrives medium. You feel cheated because you were cheated. Independent taste tests call the flavor generically salty. That's a polite way of saying it tastes like disappointment seasoned with regret. But Hormel's not the one keeping the biggest secret. That honor goes to a brand hiding something about where their pork actually comes from. Smithfield Hometown Original. Sounds like a nice Virginia farm, right? Wrong. In 2013, a Chinese conglomerate called WH Group bought Smithfield for $4.7 billion. The packaging still shows rolling hills and American heritage. The ownership? Beijing. But here's what really stinks. Literally. Smithfield has racked up EPA violations for dumping hog waste into North Carolina waterways. We're talking about lagoons of pig manure poisoning local communities. Charming. Their curing process? Traditional methods take days. Smithfield takes hours. They crank up the sodium nitrite to compensate, which explains why their bacon looks artificially pink, like it's wearing makeup. Workers at their plants report some of the highest injury rates in meatpacking. Speed over safety. Profit over people. The taste? Harsh and metallic. Like licking a penny that rolled through a smokehouse. And Smithfield isn't even the cheapest option cutting corners. That title belongs to a brand, so budget it shouldn't legally call itself Bacon. Bar S Classic Bacon. Under $4 a package. Sounds like a steal. It's actually a robbery. You're robbing yourself of edible food. Bar S uses pork bellies that other processors rejected. Let that sink in. The scraps that didn't make the cut for Walmart bacon? That's what you're frying. The texture is chaos. Rubbery in some spots. Papery in others. Why? The fat distribution looks like someone sneezed on the meat slicer. They pump these bellies with 12% added water. That's the legal maximum before the FDA makes you call it something else. Basically, they're selling you a wet sponge in pig form, and good luck cooking it. The grease splatters like fireworks on the 4th of July. Your stovetop becomes a war zone. Try getting it crispy. You'll get burnt edges wrapped around raw, fatty centers. It's physically impossible to cook correctly, but Bar S isn't even the most disappointing budget option. Walmart's house brand somehow does worse. Great value. Walmart's house brand, somehow worse than Bar S. And that's saying something. The slices come fused together like they're afraid of being alone. Try separating them? You'll get torn, ragged strips that look like something a cat attacked. Here's the frustrating part. Walmart squeezes their suppliers so hard on price that quality becomes an afterthought. One batch cooks fine. The next batch is 50% pure fat, with meat streaks thinner than paper. The smoke flavor? Chemical. Industrial. Like someone waved a bacon strip near a factory exhaust pipe and called it hickory smoked. 2 slices pack 40% of your daily sodium. 2 slices. That's not breakfast. That's a blood pressure experiment, and the fat content is wild. Some packages look like they're selling you white strips with occasional pink accidents, but misleading names aren't exclusive to Walmart. Farmland sounds wholesome. The reality is anything but. Farmland. The name paints pictures of red barns, rolling pastures, and happy pigs roaming free. Reality check? Smithfield owns them. Same industrial giant from Chapter 3. That wholesome farm imagery, pure marketing fiction. The hickory smoking they advertise happens in commercial ovens, not traditional smokehouses. They burn sawdust, not actual hickory logs. Your bacon never sees a real smokehouse. Here's what really bothers me. Sodium erythorbate shows up in every package. It's a curing accelerator that speeds up production time. Good for their profits, not great for your taste buds. It leaves this subtle chemical aftertaste that lingers. And those pigs living on picturesque farms, many spend their lives in gestation crates. They can't turn around, ever. The fat situation is borderline criminal. Some packages hit 70% visible white stuff. You're basically buying grease with occasional meat appearances. Mid-tier prices, bottom-tier quality, farmhouse dreams, factory nightmares. Speaking of false promises, Butterball wants you to believe turkey bacon is healthier. Turkey bacon, the guilt-free breakfast option, except it's neither guilt-free nor really bacon. Here's the sodium situation. Regular pork bacon, about 150 milligrams per slice. Butterball turkey bacon, nearly identical. So much for heart healthy. But the real horror show is what's actually in those strips. Turkey bacon isn't sliced from anything. It's manufactured. They take turkey scraps, grind them up, then bind everything together with modified food starch and gums. Basically, meat glue holding together whatever's left over. And that ingredient list keeps going. Autolyzed yeast extract sounds fancy. It's basically hidden MSG. Try getting it crispy. You can't. Turkey lacks the fat structure that makes real bacon shatter between your teeth. You'll get chewy. You'll get burnt. You'll never get crispy. The protein numbers expose the biggest lie. 6 grams per serving versus 9 in regular bacon. You're eating processed disappointment with less nutrition. Want actual premium bacon? It exists, but it costs more than Tyson wants to charge. Wright brand charges over $10 per pound. Premium bacon, right? Except Tyson Foods owns them. Same company making those frozen chicken nuggets your kids microwave. The thick-cut marketing sounds impressive. More bacon per slice. But here's what actually happens in your pan. That water content still causes serious shrinkage. You're watching your expensive bacon shrivel like a cheap magic trick. And separating those slices? Good luck. Wright bacon arrives pressed into a solid brick. You'll tear strips apart like you're defusing a bomb. Frustrating doesn't cover it. The sourcing tells the real story. Wright's pigs come from concentrated animal feeding operations. Same facilities supplying Tyson's budget products. Different label. Same industrial system. Here's what surprised me most. Blind taste tests consistently rank Wright below cheaper competitors. People paying premium prices actually preferred bacon costing half as much. So, what happens when Kroger tries their hand at fancy bacon? The results might hurt their feelings. Kroger's private selection line costs 40% more than their regular bacon. Premium vibes, fancy packaging. But here's the joke. Same contracted suppliers provide both products. The uncured label catches health-conscious shoppers every time. Sounds cleaner, right? Wrong. They swap synthetic nitrates for celery powder. Celery powder contains natural nitrates that work identically in your body. Your bacon doesn't know the difference. Neither does your bloodstream. Then there's the consistency problem. I've bought private selection packages where slice thickness varied like my mood on Mondays. Some strips thick, others paper thin. Same package, wildly different cooking times. And the smoke flavor? Generic. Mass-produced. Nothing distinctive about the wood or the method. Just vague smokiness you'd expect from a cafeteria. Kroger rotates suppliers constantly. Your Tuesday bacon might come from a completely different facility than your Saturday bacon. Quality roulette at premium prices. But what happens when organic marketing enters the chat? Applegate might disappoint you. Applegate sounds like a farmer's market dream. Clean labels. Happy pigs on the packaging. Nearly $12 per pound. Here's what the marketing won't mention. Their parent company? Hormel. Yes, that Hormel. The same corporation making the budget bacon we roasted earlier now sells you premium natural products at triple the price. And that natural claim? The FDA doesn't regulate it. Companies slap it on anything. It's marketing confetti. Their humanely raised certification allows stocking densities that would surprise you. Better than factory farms, sure. But humane is doing heavy lifting in that sentence. Then there's the no sugar added variety. Sounds healthier, tastes like cardboard. Sugar isn't just sweetness in bacon, it's chemistry. It drives the Maillard reaction that creates those caramelized, crispy edges. Remove it, and you get flat, boring strips. The slicing runs thin. 8 strips barely cover breakfast for one person. But what about Jimmy Dean? The Sausage King might have a bacon problem. Jimmy Dean built an empire on breakfast sausage. The man literally sang country songs about it. But bacon? That's where the magic stops. Their premium bacon costs like they're smoking it over imported French oak. They're not. The curing process wraps up in under 24 hours. Traditional bacon takes weeks. Jimmy Dean takes a shortcut. And here's the kicker. Sodium phosphate injection pumps these strips full of water weight. You're paying premium prices for H2O with a bacon disguise. The flavor hits you like a salt truck. No sweetness, no smoke complexity. Just sodium attacking your taste buds like it has a personal grudge. Their thick-cut version sounds promising. It's not. More fat than their competitors' regular slices. You wanted meat, you got grease. The Jimmy Dean name carries serious breakfast credibility. Decades of sausage success. But name recognition doesn't fry crispy. Expertise does. And bacon expertise? They don't have it. Speaking of brands coasting on reputation, Sugardale has problems too. Sugardale positions itself as the budget-friendly option. Translation? They cut corners everywhere. Their pigs come from commodity markets, growth hormones, constant antibiotics, the works. Thick slicing sounds generous until you realize it's hiding something. Stringy, low-grade pork that only reveals itself after cooking. Here's where it gets frustrating. Drop Sugardale strips in a hot pan and watch them swim. So much water releases that your bacon essentially boils instead of fries. You wanted crispy. You got steamed meat. The smoke flavor? Tastes like someone remembered it at the last second. Bottle smoke, added as an afterthought. Zero depth, zero character. But the real insult hits your wallet. 1 pound of Sugardale yields maybe half a pound of edible bacon. Worst shrinkage rate we tested. That budget price suddenly looks expensive per actual bite. After all these disappointments, you're probably wondering if good bacon even exists anymore. It does, and Nueske's proves it. 4 generations. Same smokehouse. Same applewood. Since 1933. The Nueske family doesn't rush anything. While industrial producers cure bacon in hours, Nueske's takes a full 24 hours in dry rub. Then another 24 hours in actual smokehouses. We're talking days, not minutes. Here's what that patience buys you. A 55 to 45 meat-to-fat ratio. Enough fat for incredible flavor without leaving you with a greasy mess. Every slice delivers real substance. Their pork comes from Midwest family farms, with animal welfare standards stricter than organic certification requires. The pigs actually live decent lives. Revolutionary concept, apparently. The flavor? Sweet, smoky, salty, and savory hitting in perfect harmony. Industrial bacon can't touch this at any price. That's not opinion. That's why restaurant chefs across America specifically request Nueske's by name. It's become the professional standard. But Wisconsin isn't the only state hiding bacon treasure. Tennessee has its own legend worth knowing. Alan Benton learned his craft from his grandmother. Not a culinary school, not a corporate training program. His actual grandmother. Since 1973, he's been curing bacon in Madisonville, Tennessee, using nothing but salt and brown sugar. That's it. 2 ingredients his family trusted for generations. Here's where it gets serious. Each belly cures for 2 to 3 weeks. Not hours. Weeks. While factory bacon gets rushed through processing like a fast food order, Benton's bacon sits there developing flavor the old-fashioned way. The smoking? Real hickory logs. In a smokehouse he built with his own hands. No liquid smoke shortcuts. No industrial ovens pretending to be rustic. David Chang put Benton's on the map when he featured it at Momofuku back in 2004. Suddenly, every chef in America wanted this Tennessee bacon. The slices come out irregular, hand-cut, imperfect. That's the proof you're eating craft, not a machine's output. But there's still one more producer worth knowing about. North Country Smokehouse has been operating since 1912. That's older than sliced bread, literally. Based in Claremont, New Hampshire, they've spent over a century perfecting one thing. Bacon that doesn't need excuses. Their pigs roam pastures. They forage outdoors. 0 antibiotics ever touch them. And the ingredient list? Sea salt, maple sugar, celery powder. 5 ingredients total. Compare that to 15 chemicals in your grocery store brand. Here's what separates them from pretenders. 18 hours of real applewood smoking. Not 30 minutes. Not a quick spritz of liquid flavor. 18 actual hours. The result? Caramelized edges with a smoky depth that industrial bacon can't fake no matter how hard it tries. They hold the trifecta. Certified humane, USDA organic, non-GMO project verified. Most brands can't even get one certification. These folks collected all three. Minimal water injection means minimal shrinkage. What you buy is what you eat. Those are your three winners. Everything else is just expensive disappointment.